of Pueblo Wastewater Department is 11 million gallons a day average, 19 million gallons a day capacity design, and it serves about 111,000 people within the city of Pueblo. We have approximately 60 employees that work within the department. I think the biggest thing is the complexity of the system. People expect wastewater bills to be less than drinking water. Many times wastewater now is becoming more expensive than drinking water. Wastewater comes in a much dirtier form and has to be cleaned up totally to the point that we're meeting drinking water standards when it goes into the river. The vision has always been 100% compliance with all the permits. And I spent 22 years in the lab, then moved to regulatory compliance. And then in the last 6 years as the director and looking at the budget, really compliance is still number one, but it really made it clear that we needed to do more than compliance. We really had to try to keep operating expenses down. The extra funding is all gone to infrastructure. Over 50% of the lines, collection lines, are over 50 years old. Over 17% of the collection lines are over 100 years old. So it's really expensive to go in and replace all those lines that have been out of sight, out of mind for years, and catch up on the infrastructure. It's an unseen cost that needs to be dealt with. And the selenium and sulfate would be the biggest challenge. The treatment for selenium and sulfate is very expensive. When the different options were evaluated, it was going to cost $250 million to put in an RO system and $10 to $12 million a year to run that system to be able to be in compliance with the standards. So the discharger specific variance that we had approved in 2018 allows for a stepwise process to be utilized. So the first 5 years we have $10 million of lining that has to be done in the collection system to stop the infiltration in. The groundwater can be 10 to 12,000 micrograms per liter, and we're trying to meet a standard of 14.1 micrograms per liter. So just small drips coming into the collection system through a crack in a line or different sources at seepage, and that can put us over that standard. So by going in and spending the money on our infrastructure to improve it, to stop infiltration, we're getting double benefit. We're fixing some of the collection system as well as reducing selenium, and that has been a big benefit. Probably one of the biggest accomplishments was working with the state, Region 8 EPA and Headquarters EPA to develop a discharger specific variance for selenium and sulfate. This area has underlying Pierre shale that's really high in selenium and sulfate, so we exceed the stream standards by a significant amount. And that had been a long-term issue, as we worked through that with the state and EPA, it was one of the first individual variances to be approved within the United States. We will pilot some other treatment processes that we may be able to do some incremental steps towards meeting the standards. But this has kept the citizens from having to try to afford $250 million. 25% of the people in Pueblo are below the poverty level, and that would have just been totally unaffordable. So the EPA and the state both agreed that 1.5% of the median household income was the portion that was affordable for the citizens. So by having that limit, we can continue to make those incremental steps towards compliance. I think wastewater plants are going to change. Right now, most of the facilities are really only treating. They're not recovering resources, and they're going to become water recovery or water resource recovery, because there are a lot of constituents within the wastewater that could be recovered. Currently the gas is produced in the digester system. We use that gas to heat hot water and heat the buildings and heat the digesters. But in the summer, when you don't have enough need for that, the gas is flared off, and that is a greenhouse gas that could be recovered. And there's several ways you can use that gas. And, the gas can be used to create compressed natural gas, which could be used in a fleet. You can put it back to a gas line and earn renewable energy credits, which would actually help pay back the cost of doing that. You can also take the gas, add more food to it to create more gas, and at the same time utilize food waste. The gas can also be used for cogeneration, where we would actually generate electricity with it. There's constantly new things that can be done with wastewater that probably will have a pretty good payback that would help the citizens to be able to put that system in and benefit from it. There's all kinds of things being developed, the research that's being done, lots of changes within the industry as we become more and more familiar, but the United States really is behind. I think the industry really would benefit from taking that research and taking it to a plant that can put that in as a trial project and prove it, so that then other facilities have that documentation to take with them to the state to get approval to put it in their facility. It's a great career, and it's just a matter of getting out into the high schools and letting the kids know. We employ engineers, we employ administrative personnel, we have plumbers, electricians, we have people that have GIS training, SCADA training, IT training. There's people with science degrees, various science-based degrees. But we also have a lot of people that don't have college. They come in and earn the water certifications from the state and move up to good paying jobs where they have, they may be operating the plant, or they may be in charge of cleaning at the collection system, leading a crew. And there's a lot of need for people without degrees as well.